No! God damn it. Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu here with the last Bionicle review of my Glatorian series. That is, of course, unless my brother lets me review his Bionicles. So here we have the Baranus V7. If you didn't notice, I'm using the wiki to help me through this review. Mainly because I don't know much about character bios, or at least the wiki character bios, which I know might sometimes be made up, but hey, they have to be pretty creative to come up with some of this stuff. So, first up, let's look at my favorite part of this set, which is, according to the wiki, Spikit, the Rahi. Now, first off, sorry. As you might notice, there is a little black, actually I don't even think you can see it on this. There's a little black notch over here where you can attach the chain so it can pull the chariot. The chariot itself, I think, is the Baranus V7. But, yeah. So I'm going to have to title my review as thus, but really, in my views, this is more about Spikit and Sahmad, which is the Agori over there. Anyhow, first off, about Spikit is, I think he's generally an on four legs creature, Rahi, I mean. And as you might notice right away, he has two identical heads. However, Spikit does have the ability, and is also supposed to be, thus, that he can stand on his hind legs. So I guess he's kind of bearish in that regard, except a lot more upright. I think that's more of his attack stance, while as on all fours, it's more of his running stance. Now, back onto the general review. This is going to be a lot like reviewing 2 or 3 Bionicles, because I also have the chariot itself. But yeah, this guy is very sturdy. I really like his design. It's very neat, very nice. Notably, the notch over that connects him to the chain does bug me, because it's like on the left side rather than the middle, but that's just because I'm a perfectionist. Nothing really wrong with that in the long run. His main colors, as you can see, are generally dark gray, black, green, and kind of a silvery gray. He got stuck. The silvery gray is more of just for his limbs, so it's not really that important. So it kind of goes off the color scheme. I think it'd be much better if it was dark gray, so his main colors would be green, dark gray, and black. Black is what all of his interior and claw colors are. Green is more of his Rahi-ish parts. So his head, obviously, his tail, and then for some strange reason his shoulder blades. So I guess green isn't really one of his main colors either. But that's what really sticks out of the colors. So I already mentioned that he's sturdy, so he's also pretty posable. However, even though he's posable, he does have limited movement, because he has 4 legs, all of which are exactly the same. They can just move side to side, up and down to a good extent, and then in, out, and then the legs, blah, 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 same as usual. He did use the Paraka legs, which I think is a very nice touch on him. Also, if you turn the Rahi head around completely, you'll notice that it is actually the same head as the Rider of Scorpio, I think he's called. You know, the big scorpion vehicle. that transforms into kind of like a tank, I guess, in the Glatorian age. So yeah, so usually what I like to do is when I stand him up, I like to transform it to this head so it looks a lot more sentient. Here, I'll demonstrate to you guys now. There we go. He also, once again, has the Glatorian head, but just like some of the other Rahi, I think, even though he has the Glatorian head, they use the Bionicle eyepieces as the actual Rahi's eyes. Come on. Get your head back in there. Oh, wait. I guess I should show you the mask anyway. So, yeah, that's the general mask. So, I think I'll rate Spikit. Being a Rahi, it can't be accumulated as much as a Bionicle, I think. But I still think he's a really cool Rahi, even though I've seen a lot of Rahi that were a lot more complicated, like the Rhinoceros from Metra Nui. But generally, Rahi are more complex than the Bionicles, but not super complex. With the exception, as I just said, of the Rhinoceros guy and some of the others. So, on the Rahi scale, let's see. I think you would get probably a 7. No. An 8. 2 points off because being a Rahi could be a lot more complex and also could be a lot more flexible because the main limitations are on the head, which are the parts that you might want to move most, considering that its main aspect is that it's a two-headed Rahi. And 1 point off just from my personal preference because of my perfectionist ego. Oh wait, and also messed up coloring, I guess. I'm just gonna go look at Spikit's bio right now. Nothing really there. Okay, now we're gonna go to Sahmad, the Agori. So you guys can just all enjoy looking at Spikit for a few more minutes. Now it's Sahmad's time to shine. So, first off, you'll notice that he does have one of the coolest Thornax blasters ever. Just like with Teryx, the Thornax blaster is on the same hand as one of the weapons, and it does not interfere. This one is actually makes the Thornax blaster look a lot cooler because it's based around the Thornax blaster, not based on the idea of the sword, I think. And it actually makes it look a lot more bow-like, which is more to my liking. If they had this piece also down here, then it would definitely look like a bow with the strung arrow. Also, as you can see, his main color design is black and orange, with his feet and hands being gray. Even though he's an Agori, because like the other Agori that run vehicles, he has a Glatorian life meter. He also has the same rip-off chimpanzee head. Ay. Wow. Here's a look at his mask. I'm pretty sure that it was used on another Agori. I think the one with like the whatever. The thing that looked kind of like a car, I guess. He also has these really nice shoulder blades. And this really cool... He has the tentacle from the Mari age, and he uses it as a whip. He is also a slave master. He captures Agori and makes them slaves and sells them on the black market. That is basically his lore. He uses his chariot and He uses his chariot to catch up to them, driven by his Spikit. The Spikit is also the main mode of transportation, even though it used to be Sandstalkers from the wiki. But the Sandstalkers couldn't defend themselves so well, so it got switched to the Spikit, which were slower, but better at self-defense and combativeness, if that's a word. So basically, even more than any other Agori, Sahmad sums up basically what I expect an Agori to look like. I mean, even though it's only a little more complex than the other Agori, it looks a lot more in-depth, it looks a lot better constructed, maybe because of the shoulder pads, or maybe because the colors match each other a lot better. Or the fact that he actually has a Thornax blaster, which shows that he actually does have some leverage in the world of the Glatorian. So, yeah. I think his color design's really good. It was done really well. I mean, it would be... My only problem with it is that the hands are a different color gray than both the weapon and the feet, which are the same color gray. So if that were changed, then I'd be fine. So on the Agori scale, I'd actually have to give Sahmad probably a 9. Or maybe an 8.5. 0.5 because of this. They could have made it, they could have completed it. It looks a bit incomplete to me, even though it still looks awesome. Also, this looks incomplete. Yeah, so I still think I'd give him a 9. Yeah. That's Sahmad with a 9. His posability and stuff is really good too, and he has the same body, I think, as Ranu. And Metronui feet. Next up, we have what this whole thing is named after, the very big, clunky, excuse me, Baranus V7. Now, actually, for me, the main part that I like about the Baranus V7 is not only that it can attach to a Rahi and act as a chariot, which it is a chariot, which I think is a really cool concept, but it has all these weapons and stuff on the wheels, and it is still able to function and move much better than most of the Lego and Bionicle vehicles that I've seen in actually driving, in motion. Not only that, the design on the Baranus V7 looks very cool. It does look like a chariot, though admittedly a sci-fi one, which it's meant to, because this is the Bionicle age. Probably my one problem with it is that this looks a bit bare, like there and there. Also that the chain seems too far apart, which looks a bit awkward. Oh, and also that these two wheels are too close together, which they could have fixed. Now, even though this isn't nearly as complicated as most of the vehicles, it still looks pretty awesome, and they did do a really good job of making it. So, and also the color scheme works out perfectly. Like, pretty much everything is one of two shades of gray and black, with the exception of these blue notches, but they only ever color those things in two different colors, neither of which is those, so I'm not going to blame them on that. So I think they did a fairly well job. I mean, the only non-properly colored bit is that yellow piece in the wheels, but you don't really pay attention to those since you're usually not looking at it from that angle. So I think out of the vehicle department, considering that it's not nearly as complex as other vehicles, but then again, it'll probably be a lot more expensive, but still looks really cool and has a few problems here and there, I'd probably give it like a 6.5. So, yeah, that's all for my Baranus V7 set with Baranus V7, Sahmad, and Spikit. Sorry, I had to check there. Overall, I'd give this as a combined set. I've seen a lot of combined sets, and I have to say, to me, this is one of the tops, just because most of them are either a Toa and his vehicle, or just like maybe 2 or 3 Bionicles in one set. This one is pretty much the full package with one out of everything except for an actual Bionicle hero. They've got a Rahi, they've got a Matoran/Agori, and they've got a vehicle. So I'm going to have to give this set probably an 8.5. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to give me some spore requests so I can make you guys some more videos. Again, thank you guys for watching. This is the conclusion of our Glatorian series. Again, I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.